Hey guys, it's BW and I'm back out in the garage. It's Tuesday evening and we're just going to putt around the garage a little bit today. I had a busy day and I just want to take it easy. I think I'm going to bolt these headers up with the gaskets this time, get them ready to go. There's some runs on this driver's side. That VHT ran a little bit, but we made our bed with that paint and we're going to lay in it for a little bit and just roll with it and see what happens. I'm going to dig underneath that table, see if I can find the carburetor. See if I have the hardware to bolt it up. I don't know, we'll look around. I want to pull the coil out and find that as well. So, oh, and we also have a set of hose clamps my buddy Mike and Kevin hooked me up with. So we're going to bolt those onto the hoses. And we're just going to do a checklist. I think I'm going to have to get some cables, but we're real close to starting this thing up. We're going to get it started by the end of this video, I hope. We'll see. Stick around and check us out. Okay guys, I got the passenger side bolted on. It looks really cool. Old school. Let me show you what I got. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks really cool. Walk you around the car real quick. I mean that. There you go guys. That's some old school appearance right there. I left the collector bolt on piece. That's still in black because I'm going to build my exhaust off of that, right? So once I get the exhaust done, I'm going to dump them right before the back tires, and they're all going to be in white too. It's going to have that old school feel look. I'm going to do my ladder bars in white as well. I love it, man. I found Mike over there at Fuel Fire Garage. I found that app he was talking about, and it has a wrench app. And it tells you, you make a, when you tighten it down, you make a grunt noise until it won't go no more, and then it's tight. That's what I ended up doing. All right. That's for you, Mike. So we'll retorque them after we put a little heat to them, but also our dipstick, if you remember from the last video, it worked out great, man. It's right there, right where it needs to be. The only thing is you have to, the bolt underneath of it down inside there, you have to tighten that all the way before you put this one in, because the dipstick blocks that second bolt down there. But that's no big deal, we got it. I'm really happy with it, and I'm gonna check back in with you guys in just a few minutes after I get the driver's side on, and then we're gonna move on to other things. All right, man, we got the driver's side on. Same specs, man. It's just, looks great, man. Looks like a war machine. If you guys are ever at a event for Tri-5s and there's a tall, lengthy Pennsatuckian running his gums, it's probably me. Look at that thing, man. That looks beautiful. I love it. All right. You got that whole old school feel going. I'm just gonna throw these hose clamps on real quick. I mean, I know that it's like little tiny things, guys, but sometimes you gotta enjoy the little things. I took the time to make those nice and straight. My buddy's got me the perfect size hose clamps so I don't have a bunch of, you know, stragglers running off into space and everything like that. So I'm gonna put them on there, make everything look real nice. All right, give me a minute. All right, we got the hose clamps on. We positioned them in the neatest place possible. It's the little things, guys. Anybody could just slap them together, but you know, you try to do things nice and neat. All right, we put the front one down the bottom, hit it real nice, nice clean look. Did they want this one on the inside? Chose the inside on that. Looks good. Down the bottom, the only question I have, I'll look at it in the daylight, but I think it's fine, is the water pump side. It's just a hair bigger, so it really expands the hose. So when I tighten this up, it's just even the tail. There's like almost no pull through, but it's tight, man. And I don't think it's coming off. It actually made a little bulge mark, so I think it's tight. All right, and then this one, I tightened from the bottom. I put the nut on the bottom to hide this one on the inside. So it's a nice clean engine compartment, nice clean look. All right, I found the fuel stuff. Pulled it out of the box. Everything seems to be the same as when it was packed away. All right, there it is. Big old demon. All right, let me get it bolted on. Found some more of these stickers. I gotta lay them on some books. They got a little warp being in this box over here. So let me set this up. All right, guys, you can see we got the carburetor bolted on. It looks really cool. Really happy with the job. Come out really well. I'm not real happy with the fuel line. It came with the engine when I bought it. Yeah, I'm not really one of these flashy guys with this red and blue. It's kind of like, no, not for me. So I don't know if you can paint this stuff. I'll look into it and see if you can. Or I might just do an old school job with the tubing or something. We'll see. But it's not going to stay like that. That's good enough for us to play around and start the engine up. But for the long term, no. You guys can tell just by standing back and looking. I'm more of an old school appearance guy. I just want things neat and clean underneath the hood. Nothing flashy. I'm not a real big billet guy. In fact, I wanted to take this bracket off and get it sandblasted and paint it up, because I don't want that flashy look. But I figure for now it's fine. All right, so that's what I got for today. Hey guys, it's Wednesday evening. We're back out in the garage. We're still taking it easy. We got out here a little late, but we're getting something done. All right, we got the ignition stuff out. We're gonna play with that a little bit tonight. I want to mount my coil. All right, I'm gonna pull the camera down off and I'll show you what I got here. All right, I let my engine man Rob select everything. I mean, he does it according to horsepowers and everything else. He told me I had no need for the highfalutin MSD box, so he got me a blaster and he's got me this ready to run distributor. So it matches up nicely with what I got. So I'm went with it. He knows more than I do, and everybody in the Northeast, there's a waiting line for him, so we do what Rob says. All right, so he had some leftover parts here I don't need. They're from the distributor, but I'm a junk collector, so I'll keep them. That's like the extra springs and all the good stuff in there, but he's already set all that up for us. We don't need that. All right, so we got the MSD SS Blaster coil, and we got to mount it. It's mount with 3 holes, and we got to put these vibration doohickeys, I'll call them, in between the coil and the firewall. I guess for when it's shaking, it takes care of the vibration. This is just some tack wire. Hold on to that for later. We got some bolts and we got some nuts and some fun things there, so we'll get that all taken care of. I always save my stuff. I rip the top off the box, and this is for the coil itself. We got the SS blaster, the Coil SS blaster, so we're going to put that on there. And I save all this and I'll put it in the car folder. You know what's in there, and if something goes awry, we can go to the book and just order a new one. All right, we're going to have a complete book on this car when it's done. That's the idea. That way, long after I'm in the dirt, somebody can go back and look and see what they need, or they might change it, but they'll have that option. All right, so I got the coil over here, and you know they just don't want it in direct contact with the heat, so I'm going to put it right about there on the firewall. I'm feeling like that's a pretty good spot. All right, now on this particular coil, it's a blaster, so the red is going to be our positive, the orange is the negative, and the black goes to ground. Down in here coming out, that's obviously our tack wire. It's white, excuse me, it's gray. Actually, it's gray, and that's our tack wire. We'll save and hold on to that for later, but that's what we're doing tonight. Let me get these holes drilled out and get it mounted on there. I'll bring you guys back in. Like I say, we're gonna, like everything else, we're gonna take our time. Silly little stuff like this pays off when you take your time and put it where you want it to be, nice and neat, unassuming. All right, be back in a minute. All right, well, we had a nice peaceful evening. We mounted up the coil. It looks really good. I'll show it to you real quick. Nothing crazy, nice and easy nights. You work hard all day, come out here, you want to relax. A lot of it's just thinking and tinkering. Everybody that got their car hobby knows that. All right, so we got our blaster mounted to the firewall. I was gonna get one of them big highfalutin MSD boxes. My engine man said, slow your roll, Brian. For what you have, you're not gonna get any more out of what I'm gonna tell you you need. So I let him get it for me, so that's what I got. All right, so we got the SS blaster mounted up there, which got the rubber vibration things. That's cool. All right, we got the red to the positive side, orange to the negative side. I got our ground floating out here in space. We'll get that mounted up at some point. Our tack wire is still tucked down in there. This wire's a little long. I'll probably end up, you know, trimming it up and neatening it up later on and putting new terminals on the end. But for right now, it's perfectly fine. All right, just to start it up. Now, hey guys, it's BW. It's Saturday evening. We're back out here in the garage. I was working on that house today with the wife and the son, and even my father-in-law come over and helped out for a little bit today. So we got home about 2-3 hours ago. I figured I'd come out here and see what I got going on. So I figured I'd bring you guys in and show you what I'm up to. All right, the first thing, getting ready, I'm starting to fill the radiator up with coolant. I chose the Peak. Thought that mountain was kind of impressive. I guess that's why. And also, look at that. 10 times more scale fighting inhibitors. How can you say no to that? So we're going with that. And I chose the Mobile 1 synthetic ATF for our TKO 600 transmission. Now, a Dextron 3 would work, but that's low end. They suggested either the Mobile 1 or the Pennzoil Synchro, I think it's called, and I went with the Mobile 1 because I had it. It's a little more pricey and for a break-in oil, but guys, hear me out. This is a hobby car, and it's going to take me a while to get to 1,000 miles, so I want good oil in there, and by the time I get to 1,000, I'll forget that I paid 30 bucks for 3 quarts of Mobile 1. So that's why we chose that. All right. Also, we got a little bit of this starting fluid in case we need it. Grab these and I'll show you what I'm going to do with these in a minute. All right, let me bring you around and show you what's going on. My brother-in-law was kind enough to lend us his battery charger. Now it says on here that when this thing starts to pulse, it'll be charged. So let's see what's going on here. It says charging 12 volt 94%, so it's doing a good job. It's getting the battery up. So we should be able to at least turn this thing around and get some oil on the top end. We'll try that in a little bit. So what I got going, I took this, made this wire up right here from the positive side of the coil. I'm going to run it straight to the battery, and down here I have a little cable, a small battery terminal coming off the starter, and I put the ground, the earth, off the bell housing there, and I got jumper cables that's going to bring that out to the battery right there. I'm going to bring them out to the battery, so that'll be good. Our triggers on the top of the starter there, and the other end will go to the battery, and that should be able to turn the motor over. So I think we're good that way. Now I got those terminals over there. I'm going to make up a couple wires and just temporarily plug them into here, see if I can get that fan going so we could properly treat these headers. I'm hoping. We'll see. I have a fuel line here I picked up when I was down at the store. All right, and I plugged that in, and we're just going to gravity feed it off the roof. And I have a little ball primer in the shed down there that I use to drain my lawnmowers in the fall. So, and I run the bowls empty. So I'm hoping that's enough to just squeeze it and fill up these 2 bowls here. And then hopefully, if it kicks off, the vacuum and gravity feed will be enough to keep it going. That's the hope. We'll see. I'm not sure. So we got that going for us. I'm pretty sure that's about it. Oh, I have I bought one of these fill pumps. I gotta find it. I don't know what I did with it. Here, I don't even know where it is. That's not good. I'll have to find. I bought one of them little pumps to pump up the fluid into the transmission. Let me look for that, and I'll bring you guys back in. I thought I had it. I don't know where it is. So give me a minute. Well, I found the receipt and I put it in the basket and I put it up on the counter, but it didn't make it through when the lady checked me out. I got the Peak, 2 gallons of Peak, three quarts of Mobil 1. I got the gunk starter fluid. I bought some 10 gauge jumper cables that you saw over there, and the quick disconnect 16-14 wires for the fan, and that's it. But I'm telling you, I had one of those where you hand pumps, it screws right on the top of the quart to get it into the transmission. So I'll either be going back down there later this evening or tomorrow, or we'll try to find a different way to put it in there. All right, let me get back to you. Okay guys, well, we filled up the radiator. It took a little more than I thought. I was happy to find I had a gallon of Prestone out in the shed. So it took 3 full gallons of this 50-50, and then I had to cheat, guys. I had to put another 2 of water in there. So I had this in the shed, and it says it's good for any make model, so it's good for a hodgepodge of stuff. We're good there. All right, and I had to top it off with water, but it'll be okay when it all mixes up, I think. It just looks like water right now because the water's on top and all the antifreeze is on the bottom. But I imagine once we get it running, it'll mix up real nice for us. I hooked up our fan here. All right, let's just pretend I got this green one going to blue. So we're gonna pretend green is blue and the black's the negative. All right, so I got that on there. Let me set you down for just a second here, and I'll show you what's going on with this. I'm gonna turn the fan on, hook up the hot wire with a pair of vice grips here, hook up the ground with the other pair of vice grips. Got to be a little tighter. You heard the fan kicking on there. Alright. So our fan's running. Okay. I'm going to put in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to put the video when we put this fan together. We had to turn the blades around and we made it a puller. And I never checked it until right now. Put the piece of paper on here and whammo. Alright. So it's not a pusher, it's a puller. You feel here, it's sucking my hand in right here. And it's blowing it out across the motor. So it's working good. One more time. You know, it just holds that paper right against the radiator. So we're really happy with that job. That's one more thing. Let's shut the fan off. We got the vice grip here. All right. So that come out really good. All right, so we're happy with that. That's one more thing we got done. Uh-oh. Sounds like we got a little rainstorm going on. That kind of stinks. That might put a damper on everything. I got to put some transmission fluid in here, and I don't have that pump. All my lawn equipment's getting wet, so I'm going to bring everything in, and we'll pick this up as soon as I can. But we got a couple things done. Okay guys, it's still a little crowded here in the garage. It did stop raining, so I could push the lawn equipment back out. But I was over on the other side tinkering, and I wanted to bring you guys in and show you what was going on. All right, I had a little bit of a problem. The battery charged right up with my brother-in-law's charger. It's at 100%. All right. We also, in case it goes down, we got our battery pack all charged up. But that wasn't the issue at all. It was a connection issue. I had to take and remove the jumper cables from the equation. And I only have these short battery cables from the starter and then from the earth or ground, you would say, on the bell housing. So I had to push the battery up underneath with my jack and got it just sitting there. And I hooked up our ignition. And it was either going to be the starter or it was going to be a poor connection. It was the poor connections because it's turning really nice. All right, and it's kind of good. I've done that a couple times. We're getting oil back up into the top of the motor. It's got that I was worried about. I've never used a mini starter, hooked one up before. I'm not much, like I said, guys, the first time I'm doing this. So, but we got that going for us, okay? So now we know the engine will crank, and it'll crank really well. The battery's full, okay? Now, the next thing I got to talk about doing here is I got to get this positive side of the coil hooked up to the battery. I'm just going to use a set of vice grips for that. See, every time you say you're going to use vice grips, the big guy over there at Vice Grip Garage, Derek, he gets a little twinge even if he's not watching us. So anyway, so we'll hook that up to the positive side of the battery, and I'll have to run the fan wires over to the positive and negative side of the battery, and just the fan will be running the whole time while we're getting ready to crank this over, which is fine. All right, I could probably put some kind of on-off switch, something together real quick. I might be able to find something laying around here to work with. We'll see. But anyway, so we got that going. So now we got to concern ourselves with fuel. All right, we know we got crank. I can check the spark real quick, but I know it's a brand new coil. It just got it. Once this is hooked up to the hot side of the battery, to the hot side of the coil, we're going to have power. I know that, and spark. So our biggest thing now is going to be getting the fuel ready. All right, so we'll put a can up on top of the car. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get my my little primer ball, but it's a much smaller hose, and hopefully I can fill the bowls up with that. And at that point, we're hoping that vacuum and gravity will take over and keep this thing fed, because we already know, boys and girls, she's going to have a drinking problem. Big block Chevy. All right, so that's where I'm at. It's a little bit after, I guess it's about a quarter after 20 after 7. So I don't know if I can light it off tonight, or try to light it off tonight. I might just take that starting fluid, and if I do, I'll bring you back in. Take the starting fluid and give it a little shot in the carburetor, and put that terminal on, just to make sure that we're going to get a little fire. All right guys, I'm going to try to pop it off real quick without fuel. I'm just going to try to use a little bit of this starting fluid. I hooked the coil wire up with a vice grip to the positive side of the battery. I want to just pop it real quick, and that's it, because I still have to put the transmission fluid in. And I don't think anything, it's in neutral, but just to be safe, and I don't have that pump. So I'll run down and get that pump tomorrow, unless it's still, I don't think the store's still open, but if it is, I will run down so I have it ready for tomorrow. I'll probably just pick it up tomorrow. So let's just make sure it's gonna pop off real quick, and then we'll call it for the night. Yeah. It's gonna run. So that sounds good to me. Like I say, I'll work on the fuel tomorrow, and we'll get the transmission filled up with fluid for safety. I'll make a little on off. I got the fan hooked up to the positive side, and I could just touch this ground to the head here, and it'll turn the fan on. So we could do something there, and we'll be raring to go. And like I say, our kill switch is going to be just unhooking the vice grip, you know, for taking the power off the coil. That'll shut it down. So that's all I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go in and edit, but hopefully we can get this video up tomorrow night. I'm really excited. I want to pop this engine off, and I want to hear it roar. You guys got a little taste, and that was just with starting fluid. So that's where we're at. All right, guys. We got Phil from the chop shop here. We're getting ready to start up this 468. Hear it roar a little bit. We're just going to use Phil as a, what do they call that at a hospital? Where the drip? IV. He's going to be our IV, guys.
I think you're pretty good with gas.
All right, well, let's see.
I think you're doing all right.
Let's see. Was it taking it?
Yeah, I mean, it's eventually going down, but you're going to burn a lot.
Let's see if it'll go in. Started. burrs get burning off that. That's what that is. Then. Okay guys, we're going to take a quick look at Phil's car and see what he's got going on. Check this out. Okay guys, this is Chop Shop Phil's 56 Chevy. It's beautiful. What do you got in there, Phil?
383 stroker.
383 stroker with a 400 trans?
4-speed Muncie.
4-speed Muncie, excuse me. I didn't even... Wow. That's a pretty car. We'll get there one of these days. Beautiful car. Beautiful car, Phil. Inside and out. Wow. That's a nice car. I really appreciate you guys coming over and helping me get that thing running today. I probably couldn't have got it without you.
Pleasure is ours.
Phil was my IV. Very clean engine compartment, very nice. Wow. Beautiful. Ah, you're old school too. Look at those white headers. Huh? It's the only way to be. They don't stay white, but they look cool. It's outstanding. Outstanding. Okay guys, well this has been the funnest video I've done yet. You know, it was something out of the way in the project. It didn't involve any sheet metal and I had a lot of fun doing it. I gotta tell you guys, it was a good time. And I appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let people know we're out there. Share this thing. All right, take care everybody.